Hello and welcome to traders and investors. I'm glad to present to you the cryptocurrency market review presented by analysts and experts from fx.co portal. Here we go. Bitcoin continues to trade with relatively low volatility and is slowly grinding lower. The digital gold narrative is fading as BTC has already filled the nearest bearish FVG. On the daily timeframe, broken its bullish intraday structure on the hourly chart and spent nearly 3 weeks drifting lower, losing around 7,000 USD in this process. At this point, signs of a broader downside reversal are starting to pile up. The only thing missing is real market participation. First, we saw a slow motion 3-month green to the upside. Now the market is doing exactly the same thing, but in reverse. Meanwhile, traders are actively evaluating the first 10 days of Kevin Warsh's leadership at the Fed. During that stretch, Bitcoin dropped roughly 5,000 USD. But from our perspective, that move says very little about how markets view the new Fed regime. For Bitcoin, a 5,000 USD swing is just a noise. Standout crypto volatility. So, it is still far too early to claim the markets expect a worst-case scenario for BTC under Warsh. We don't yet know what policy direction he'll ultimately support, but it is important to remember that the Fed chair does not make rate decisions alone. Right now, the majority of the FOMC still leans toward keeping rates elevated throughout 2026. With some policymakers even open to another round of tightening. And the main reason isn't Kevin Warsh or Jerome Powell. It is resurging US inflation, fueled largely by the Middle East conflict that escalated under Donald Trump's administration. On the daily timeframe, Bitcoin continues to form a downward trend and is correcting against it. The trend structure is identified as downward, and the CHOCH line remains at the level of 97,900 USD. Only above this level can it be considered that the downward trend has ended. As there are no signs of an upward trend reversal, we believe a decline will resume sooner or later. On the daily timeframe, the nearest point of interest area for sell traders is in the range of 79,500 and 81,100 USD. This area has been worked out several times, but the market's response has been weak. However, on the hourly timeframe, the upward structure has been broken, so the probability of Bitcoin's decline increases. Currently, there has been no reaction to the bullish FVG. The response has been very weak. On the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is correcting against its own correction. The CHOCH line of the current upward structure is at 74,950 USD. A consolidation below this level will signal a trend breakdown. This could be a very important signal for the market regarding a trend change. The completion of the upward trend on the 4-hour timeframe could serve as a starting point for a new burst of trend on the daily timeframe. There are still no fundamental grounds for Bitcoin's long-term strengthening, and spot demand remains very weak. Every day, more signals are emerging about the completion of a 3-month correction. The only bearish FEG on the 4-hour timeframe may provide an opportunity to open short positions. Today, from the United States, the following economic data will be released. HPI US month-on-month. C&P CS Composite 20 HPI year-over-year. And CB Consumer Confidence. If we look at both EMAs, forming a death cross intersection, and the RSI 14 indicator and the neutral bearish level, then today Litecoin has the potential to continue its weakening toward the nearest support level. If 52.57 is broken down, there's potential for continued weakness toward 52.03. If 52.03 is also breached, Litecoin could continue weakening to test 50.83. The downside bias is restrained if the price strengthens and breaks above 53.77. That's all for today. See you online soon and good luck.